Good morning. I'm Monisa Klein here at the GBTA broadcast studio here in Orlando, Florida. It's Friday, the final day of our convention this year, which has been fabulous. And with me this morning is Yvonne Chen, who is the Director of Private Sector Engagement for ECPAT USA. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, and I understand this is your first GBTA convention, right?
Yes, it's been amazing meeting people in person. I really love seeing faces and people's whole body just to see what they look like.
Good point.
Yes, but it's been so great.
People have to pay attention to what they're wearing on the bottom now, right?
Yes, that's true. We're all adjusting back to what this is.
We are, but it is great.
Yeah.
There's nothing like face-to-face engagement, right?
Definitely. It's so great to be back, and it's so glad that everyone can be here together in person.
Absolutely. So tell us what is ECPAT? Tell us about ECPAT USA.
Yeah, so ECPAT USA is a nonprofit agency, and we focus specifically on prevention and advocacy around child trafficking. So we think a lot about how to engage young people in these conversations because they are the ones also being affected. We really think about engaging with the private sector. How do we encourage businesses and corporations to understand that trafficking has a huge part in a lot of the world and the work that we do and the spaces that we're in. So that's definitely something that we're really focused on. We also do a lot of legislative and policy work around keeping trafficking at the forefront of people's minds because it is really important. It does happen everywhere, unfortunately. And even with the impact of COVID, it's only increased because vulnerabilities have increased for people and traffickers target vulnerabilities. So we're just glad to be able to be here. We have partners who really engage in this work with us, and that's what we do. And we are really a national organization. We are actually part of ECPAT International. So ECPAT USA is part of ECPAT International, which is in over 100 countries. So we really focus on the awareness and the advocacy and really making sure that survivors are heard and how they would like to be assisted and worked with.
That's great, and such meaningful work. Oh my goodness, I applaud you.
No, we couldn't do it without partners such as GBTA,
So talk a little bit about how human trafficking intersects with travel and business travel. You know, I think it's obvious to some people, but there might be some factors or issues that people are not aware of. So if you can maybe talk a little bit about how what the intersection is.
Definitely. So trafficking, I had mentioned before, is really about vulnerabilities. If people have vulnerabilities, traffickers will target them. And while people are traveling, especially during business travel more so, less now, but more so often during the work week. And when we're traveling, we should be aware of what's happening around us. I think oftentimes we operate in a space where we're rushing to the next thing, and survivors often say they were missed. Not because people didn't care, it's because people didn't know what to look for and they weren't paying attention. And our goal is to really engage people in understanding what to look for. And so the intersection of travel and tourism is really large because trafficking is happening all around us. It is also important to note that trafficking does happen in our communities as well. And so there doesn't actually need to be a transfer or a travel element to trafficking. They don't need to cross any borders. They don't need to be crossing any sort of cities. People can be trafficked where they grew up, unfortunately. There are families who also traffic their own family members. So it is just happening all around us, but with the reach and such a large reach globally of business travelers, we really think that it really can make such a huge impact to be aware of what trafficking is.
We have an announcement. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen,
time out.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so thinking about the global impact of what the miles that people cover, all the things that people see and where they go, we really feel that travelers and business travelers who are understanding what trafficking looks like can make a huge impact into protecting children, into protecting people.
Wow. Yeah. So what are some things that companies can do to participate?
Yeah. There's a few different ways. So we have many great partners here. GBTA was gracious enough to have us here and be able to share information about trafficking work and the work that we do and the awareness. So there's a few different ways. We have something called the International Code of Conduct on Travel and Tourism, and that really includes training staff. There are a few criteria that people need to meet, but including language in RFPs about a zero tolerance policy on child trafficking, really thinking about training and awareness for staff members, whether it be on the corporate side or on the ground, because again, trafficking can happen anywhere. So even if you are not traveling, it's just important to be mindful of what it looks like. People can join the code. Many members of the code are here actually at this conference, which we're excited about.
That's great.
It's amazing. It's so amazing to see really companies come together and really thinking about this issue. And then we have our Partner in Protection program, which really engages companies in just a detailed view. Every company is so different. Company culture is different, what people want to focus on, what the employees want to focus on. So a tailored look into that partnership and trainings. Please come to us. We love doing trainings. I really miss in-person trainings, but we've been able to do so many webinars in this expanse of the past year and a half and the past 2 years. So that's what we want to do. We want to get people educated. We want people to understand that it is an issue that we can work on together. Right. And so those are some of the options that people can work with us on. For example, this morning we had a run walk 5K when it was still dark outside in the morning, but we got a great turnout. The sun came out, it was not raining.
Yay.
And we're so thankful because GBTA does this every year for us. American Airlines sponsored this race, this 5K run walk for us to raise funds for ECPAT USA so that we can continue to protect children, we can continue to fight against trafficking, which is happening all around us. So those are just some of the ways that people can really engage with us, and we have opportunities to talk to young people. We have a school curriculum from 6th to 12th grade. Also, if people are parents or guardians, they can get more information from us about what they can look out for and resources for their young people.
Wow. Yeah. So if people want to contact you, what is the website? Is it?
Yeah, it's www.ecpatusa.org. So ECPATusa.org.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I'm so glad that the run was successful this morning. And I think just another example of the partnership and great community spirit there is in the business travel industry, right?
Yes, I love it. It's such great energy. People are so enthusiastic about it, and people care, and that's what we want to do. We want to help people care more. We want to support people who care, and we're glad to be working here together with you all.
Yvonne, thank you again for your time.
Much.
And have a safe trip back to New York.
Thank you.
I'm Monisa Klein here at GBTA Broadcast Studio. Stay tuned.